Let's get physical. In this section, you continue to work on Retroformer. You'll learn all about 2D physics in Unity and how it can be applied to the platform game. Here, we'll learn this by applying physics to actions, such as jumping and moving through forces. In particular, we'll implement a movement component, which will take care of controlling the animation state machine of the previous section, as well as moving the character using physics, along with a player controller, which will send input based on the keyboard to the movement component. Keep in mind that if it's difficult to understand now, it will be much easier by the end of the section. With this said, let's begin. We now start with the first video of the section, Physics Material 2D. In this video, we'll look at 2D physics used in our game and modify properties in Physics Material 2D. In 2D games, the concept of physics becomes a bit more, let's say, linear. By this, we don't have to worry about the ball bouncing off along the z-axis or the trajectory of an arrow being dramatically affected by various environmental objects, other than those in plain view. For example, if there is a tree in the path of your character, chances are if you fire an arrow towards an enemy on the other side, the arrow will hit the tree first. Before doing anything, you need to make some changes to your main camera in your game view as well as scene view. You can enter the settings as shown here. For this section, we're just going to consider Physics Materials 2D, which is the basic way to set some physics properties to a material. You can create a Physics 2D material with a right click on the project panel, and then go to Create and Physics Material 2D. I'll name this Test Material. If you double click on it, you can see the properties in the inspector. When it comes to Physics 2D material in Unity, there are only two parameters to take into consideration. First is friction. This indicates the amount of friction. The less friction, the more slippery the material. Second is bounciness, which indicates how much energy the material gives back when something hits the material. I'll just remove it for now. As far as the game we're creating goes, you can try to experiment with different materials for the different surfaces of your game. Since our character will collide with the ground, we need to properly set it up. First of all, as exported from Tiled to Unity, the terrain comes already with a collider, which is great. However, we need to set a new layer for it, so when we do some checks to allow our character to jump, our system will go flawlessly. Navigate to Edit, Project Settings, Tags and Layers. This is the screen that will open in the inspector. Open the Layers menu and add a new one called Ground. Also, later we'll need to add a tag for implementing jump pads. Since we are already in the right menu, open the Tag menu and add a jump pad tag. Finally, select our terrain in the Hierarchy panel and apply the ground layer on it. If it asks you to apply the changes to all of the children, then click Yes, Change Children. Now our terrain is good to go, and it's time to bring our hero to life in the next video.